Before Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premieres in 2025, the lights at Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital have gone out once more, and eventually they won't come back on. It won't be long until Grey's Anatomy gets its typical bloodlust and begins removing characters for ratings, even with the kind of gentle reset a few years ago that brought in a fresh group of interns. I don't intend to come out as cynical, but something that happened in the conclusion of Grey's Anatomy Season 21 hurts me. Not the terrible implication of Joe's miscarriage, the cliffhanger, or even the fact that Meredith appeared to be much more absent than normal. It all comes down to one of those characters leaving the show that you love so much. Character departures from Grey's Anatomy are part of the pattern for the show's remarkable endurance, along with amorous entanglements that would have any HR department on high alert and a concerning regularity of big calamities. Even the most secure major characters occasionally have crises of professional confidence, job offers across the nation, or death, and many have completely departed the program. With the exception of Miranda Bailey and Richard Webber, who have both nearly been written off, there aren't many fresh characters on Grey's Anatomy right now. Hell, when Ellen Pompeo landed a supporting role in her own show, Meredith Grey appearances are suddenly highly sought after. Grey's has just put aside the deathly side that would have consistently eliminated the show's core characters every season or so, allowing them to develop in less disastrous ways. Even after 3 years, DeLuca's death wound is still quite fresh, proving that they still know how to kill someone in a memorable way. Even though they are still alive, 2 important characters were eliminated in the most recent season finale of Grey's Anatomy. And there was one that was very heartbreaking. The triple threat of George O'Malley, T.R. Knight, Derek Shepherd, Patrick Dempsey, and Denny Duquesne, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, is the gold standard for heartache on Grey's Anatomy. I adore the show for its feeling of finality, and each will always be remembered as a startling reminder that Grey's frequently cares more about brief, sharp shocks than emotional commitment. In the long run, it would have been more traumatic to leave them behind when their performers wished to depart, such as Sandra Oh's enigmatic Christina Young. Because of George's valiant sacrifice and the way his final treatment exploited his identity as a devastatingly effective emotional boost, his death was always the one that stood out. I recall being devastated at the time, and seeing it again so long after the fact doesn't lessen the effect. That hasn't been matched by anything, not even Derek. Despite the promise of a happy ending, Levi Schmidt's departure in the most recent season came very near. Having overcome hardship, unemployment, and a deep, dark melancholy to become a pillar of Grey Sloan, he had become one of the most endearing people, even while he was posing as Bailey's chief resident for a spell. The hospital hardly ever deserved him, and they will suffer as a result of his leave. Schmidt's portrayal had an ethereal enchantment and a determined wholesomeness that the other actors in the fresh ensemble did not have. Even though he hasn't always got his act together, Jake Borelli's dedication to his patients and captivating on-screen persona make him one of the greatest characters added after the initial cast. He will be sorely missed. The fact that Schmidt's departure might not be permanent is the one positive aspect of it that I truly need to cling to. He will be much more marketable after completing his fixed-term research post in Texas, which is intended to expand his choices. And maybe Bailey and the other Grey Sloan powers will see how foolish it was to ever underestimate him in the first place. I hope Schmidt makes a more than swan song comeback in a later season of Grey's Anatomy. Even while it might not be as well-liked as someone like Young or Izzy and Karev coming back, Grey's Anatomy seems like it has lost a little of its soul without him.